Jesus.
That's like the first thing that people see. That's awesome.
I'm trying to see if we can get the one that has like the blurry background because I like that one. Oh, perfect. Okay, excellent.
There you go. It's actually better than the one in
Yeah, it's much better than the one in Discord where it's like, well,
Discord.
I mean, it's still, it's not great, but it's much better than the one in Discord.
Yeah, Discord is like cranked to like 11.
Yeah, it's that way. That way, in case Teresa comes in, she's not embarrassed like she was last time.
Nah, I hear you.
So,
let me share this everywhere. Everywhere.
Nah, see, you can still see like the little, like the head.
Yeah, but the other one, like if you lift your hand in Discord, it like covers most of it.
Oh yeah,
like one finger.
Wait, hold on. I wonder how far away I can get before I get censored. No, actually, it's
See,
pretty,
like it's pretty far back.
yeah, it's pretty good. Discord's like if you move like anything like a foot and a half away, that's it. You're a pixelated like. You become Japanese pornography.
Yes. Okay, let me close Illustrator. That way.
Can we play licensed music on the podcast? I'm gonna play some Beatles
No,
real quick. You
like legit, my lights are turned off.
Yeah, it's the FBI.
Were you guys just waiting outside?
It's like not even the FBI. It's like Warner Brothers, like secret fucking police or some shit like that.
Okay. About that's that. Okay, you ready to start recording?
I am ready.
Okay, so we're gonna do. Oh, this is episode.
Me.
Oh God.
Yeah, because I've been really snivelly this morning.
This is episode 57, by the way.
Because it's fucking 45 degrees outside. We went to the Strawberry Festival Wednesday to celebrate 9 years of being together, and it was like 90 degrees, balls hot.
And then today it's like 30.
Yeah, it was muggy and shitty, and it was awful.
Yeah.
And now it's like 45 degrees. It would have been perfect to go today.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, record.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, sync.
3,
Ready?
2, 1. Let's do this thing.
Clap. All right, 3, 2, 1,
Recording.
record.
Yeah,
All
buddy.
right, now 3, 2, 1, sync. Ready? 3, 2, 1, sync. You know, it's a lot harder to do with 3 people for some reason.
Well, yeah, because there seemed to be I'm not trying to give any grief, but there seemed to be like a pretty severe delay on Heather's part. Like, like I mean, like not like it's not like we were like half a conversation in, and then she like, oh yeah, like chime in, but it'd be like milliseconds.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be happy to know that I changed the panels on the Twitch channel.
Oh, you did? Are we still playing Avernus or?
No, we're not anymore.
I'm trying to see if I could. Oh, I isolated the blur.
You just like divided by 0, your screen starts breaking. Oh God, he ate it.
Now I am the blur.
That'll be funny if like you actually become the blur.
The band?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're ready. Let me start the episode, then we can get cranking. Actually, let me do something even better. Let me cue up the fucking music so I don't mess it up.
Hold on.
Like
I'm gonna go on the Twitch thing and see if you're wrong or not.
What?
I'm gonna call you out live.
No, wait.
I'm calling.
I mean, you can go on it.
I'm going on it right now. There's
should.
There's nothing you can do to stop me.
I am not trying to stop you because I did it.
I kind of feel like you're trying to stop me.
I'm not trying to stop you, Andrew.
Okay.
You should give us that view though. Like keep it on.
Damn it. Fine. You spelled dungeons wrong though. That's fine.
Did I really?
Yeah.
No, I can change that. Right.
So, haha, I got you on something.
And something.
You're not completely off the hook.
All right, ready?
I also made the mistake. Yeah, go ahead.
And welcome everybody to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. I forgot how to do the intro because there's 2 of us now instead of 3. But I'm Jose, your co-host, and we talk about crap and dungeons and board games. And with me, as usual,
it's me.
The normal.
It's me.
Andrew. Our dungeon master for our current campaign. If you're following that.
I hate my life.
Now Andrew's supposed to be an an uplifting episode. Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it's supposed to be an uplifting campaign, which so far it has not. It has been.
It has not been.
The most uplifting part was session 1, and it's just been a steady decline since.
It's a very slow, steady decline, but a decline.
It was a steady decline up until about the last couple sessions. And all of a sudden, it started snowballing real quick, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to end up being the villains of your own campaign.
I mean, you know how things are going, more than likely. But thank you guys for joining us. We talk about all things Dungeons and Dragons. We just got off of our Dune book club podcast series of 4 episodes. So if you missed that, make sure to join and go back in the episodes and listen to them, because we ramble a lot, and I know how much you guys love our rambling. But today we're talking about
a lot of rambling in the second and third episode. We try to keep it pretty concise by the 4th.
Hey, listen, the first episode was like almost like 2.5 hours. The second episode was like 2 hours. The third episode was like 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then the last episode was like 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we reeled it back to a normal a normal length.
That first episode though. I mean,
that was long.
A lot of that was just like, well, dude, what even is Dude? What is this little known gem that people don't know about?
No one knows about it.
Oh, fuck.
But today, we're not talking about Dune. We are back to our roots, Andrew. We're back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay.
Wow, that was very anticlimactic.
Sorry. What you want me to do? Did you want me to like play like yeah, like in the background?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
But today we're talking about those characters that we make sometimes, and you know we think that it's gonna be funny for like one session, and then they don't die, and then it turns into 20 and then 40 sessions, and then you play a whole campaign with a joke character, and then you don't know what to do with your life anymore. You're just the butt of every joke at the end. I'm not talking from experience.
The character that always starts out with wouldn't it be funny if, and then
Oh man. But yes, with that, we're talking about joke characters. So Andrew, without further ado, let's play the music.
So after that brutal assault by the orc warrior, the initiative now goes to you. Jose, what do you do?
I'm gonna cast I don't know. Hey, there you go. Andrew.
Is it because I was wearing the bow in the preview picture?
We have slightly larger viewer count than usual, so we got to make this some sort of informational podcast.
No.
but before we get any further in our discussion, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking a cold brew version of Sprouts' house blend of French vanilla coffee. And
Ooh.
I made a cold brew because I've been drinking hot coffee for a while, unbeknownst to me that a cold snap would be coming by. And so now it's like, now I want a hot coffee, but I have cold coffee instead. So,
well, it's Florida. You don't really know what weather you're going to get in the morning versus the afternoon.
It'll be done by 5 o'clock.
Oh, it will be. There'll be a torrential rain coming through by that time. I am drinking mystery tea.
Mystery tea.
This one is honey.
All right, hold on. Try that. Hold on. Wait. Stop that. Try that again.
Honey bush tea.
Honey bush.
Apple pieces. Yeah. Apple pieces. Natural forest berry flavors. Raspberry leaves. Strawberries. Blueberries. Raspberries. And rose petals.
At first, it sounded like they were putting everything except the actual fruits in. It was like, oh, honeybush leaves, raspberry cuttings, blueberry greens. It's just like there's no actual like blueberry in it. It's just like all the shit that's like around it. How is it? How is it good?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Look at that color. It's a herbal tea.
Honeybush sounds like a '90s like hard rock band.
It does. They have big hair and like very colorful outfits.
And they're like clearly ripping off Nirvana.
No.
Yeah. I'm totally not calling out other 90s band or late 90s, early 2000s bands that pulled that crap.
I don't know.
Chevelle, I don't know. I honestly just pulled a name out of a hat.
All right, Andrew.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about joke characters.
Not because we've run out of ideas.
No,
at
actually,
all.
it's not. What I kind of wanted to do is that I kind of wanted to see, like, a brainstorm, like how a joke character works alongside of a serious character in a short, like a one-off / short adventure, because we discussed there's no such thing as a one-off.
Right. Yeah.
And then versus a long campaign. But first, we got to get into what is a joke character. So,
right.
To you, Jose, what is a joke character? And don't say it's a character that's based on me, because I'll fucking kill the character.
I wasn't gonna say that, Andrew. No, I think. Let me see.
My joke character is a guy that has lower constitution. He's got a little bit of good wisdom, but he doesn't really have any marketable skills.
Jeez, I got dark so quick. Oh man. No, I think a joke character. I think the first thing, anybody who makes a joke character, it's making it for it not to last. So it's a short-term. Mm-hmm. idea, right? Mm-hmm. And it's usually based on something silly that they saw on television.
Well, ideally, it's not supposed to last.
Right. Big asterisk on top of that.
Yeah.
For the most part, like, you don't really care about the stats that you roll in the beginning, right? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna play this because whatever. Again, short term, and there's always something. There's a what am I? There's a not an idea. What is what I'm looking for? A hook? No, not a hook.
No, kind of like a hook. Like a
hook,
like a punchline, a gimmick.
Yeah, a gimmick. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, there's always a gimmick to it, or something they always do, and everybody think it's funny and hilarious for the first encounter, and then after that, it's just like, okay, can you die now, or can you
actually? Can you die? Can we please kill him?
I know you have a second character,
but actually, you brought up a pretty good point with the stats. It might be something where it's like, I'm gonna play a wizard, but then I'm gonna hard roll my stats. Okay, here's my strength. Oh, 18. Cool. All right. And now my intelligence 6. Okay, so I'm a wizard. That has like a minus to my intelligence, and that might be the whole gimmick in of itself, where it's like, yes, I'm actually a wizard, but I'm also buff and I can't use spells.
So I think there's a difference between that, because honestly I think that's borderline creative joke character. Like, it's a joke character, but it could be hilarious, and that has longevity, in my opinion.
I have heard of and listened to like podcasts and stuff where some of you like, okay, I'm going to play a ranger. Oh, I have a 4 in constitution. All right, we're going to run with it.
Yeah. But no, I'm thinking, dude, I know, because what you just described, the whole idea of hard rolling your stats, and then you play off of like your. Did you just drown?
No, actually, I got to thinking, because that reminds me of another D&D podcast called D&D is for Nerds. And they actually
wait, is it for nerds?
Yeah, it is. And actually, there actually was a character who he was a ranger with like, I think like 4 or 6 constitution. And so because of it, the DM let him have a rhino, but that's only because he was riding the rhino as his legs, because he was too feeble to walk around. Anyways, go on.
I lost my train of thought. Hold on. It was but like that stuff, I think it still has like good parts to it that you can play to it, right? With your campaign. Like, yeah, okay, it'll be funny or whatever, but I mean, a wizard with 18 strength is still a wizard with 18 strength. Yeah. And if you have a cool DM who like helps you, like, okay, if you spend this much time trying to hit things with a sword, you get proficiency in melee weapons or whatever.
Or maybe have it be
or simple weapons.
Maybe have it be like, oh, just this character just happens to stumble upon a lot of stuff that will grant you more intellect, or something.
Right, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah, but then there's the other side of the token of like the joke character who is just based on something silly like, I don't know, the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's like they describe it like to the point of like they describe it with like very colorful like red outfits, you know, and a helmet that is clearly not like meant to protect you, but it's still there, and like everything they do is over the top, and they describe how like that's funny for the first 10 minutes of the campaign.
Yeah,
that is the ultimate joke character.
That's funny for like an encounter, like what's it? I made a joke character for Avernus, and it was a gator barbarian that was just looking for the spiciest pepper and all. and it's like, man, I really want to play this. And then like about 10 minutes later, I'm like, that's a dumb idea. But I recognize that.
You were self-aware enough to know that that's a dumb idea. However, though, finding the spiciest pepper in Avernus might be an actual logical thought somebody will have.
I mean, where's the spiciest pepper gonna be? In hell. That when you live in a world where hell is not a concept, but it's a place you can visit, yeah, of course there's gonna be a spicy pepper. There's gonna be something there that makes the the Carolina Reaper look like a bell pepper by comparison.
I like to imagine that at some point when they're at that sorcerer's tower, before you guys get sent to Avernus, she's describing how the fate of the world relies is upon your shoulders and how we are relied on you to save it or whatever. And the guy's just thinking about like, so where's the hottest red pepper?
Hold on.
And like once they get to Avernus, spend 20 sessions through the campaign, they get to the pepper, and as soon as he eats it, he's like, okay, I'm out, and then walks back to El Terrell.
That's got a bit bite to
it. He has a bottle of milk that he's kept with him since the beginning. Smells like yogurt now.
Just
but it helps.
But it's helps. It's like you get to average, like you see that little red beacon there. That's the pepper. 5 billion Scovilles. It's like you're walking up to the peppers, like it's like the microwave hallway at MGS4. You have to make con saves just to even approach it.
Why are we not making these characters?
Because it wouldn't work in a long campaign. How bad would that derail the main campaign?
But think about it though. Think about it. If the player doesn't make that its sole purpose, but it's very clear that that's his sole purpose, but it's not like, you know, like if the player plays along with the fact that they do have to say the world, whatever, because if without a world you can't cook the peppers, that type of thing, I will kind of allow that in my campaign.
See, but that's the thing. You as a DM kind of have to carve out this whole thing for the joke character.
Yeah, that's true.
So that way they actually have some sort of resolution to their plot. But if you like, say for instance, you took that Cajun Gator chef guy and you just plunked him into the Avernus campaign that we would have, he would just be a background character. I mean,
unless the character really, like, the player really plays into it.
But see, that's
like, what the wandering character. What if they find a wandering caravan and there's like a couple sections there just trying to find the hottest pepper, and the wandering caravan is selling the hottest pepper that they think is the hottest pepper, but then they're like, nah, this is not hot enough. I had hotter. There has to be something hotter here. And then you get up to like where Tiamat is, and like, hey, who's your cook? And he splits from the party to find the cook. And as he's trying to
joins the other side.
No, as he's looking for the cook, he finds information on the camp near Tiamat, and like what is happening.
Meanwhile, like the party's fighting like those guys that were in Tiamat's camp, and the cook's like, okay, hold on, I got it. He's like going through the cookbooks and shit. It's got to be here somewhere. Come on.
Just saying, we should probably do that.
Well, fuck, you just completely defeated my argument about why joke characters wouldn't work on a long campaign. Okay, but see the thing,
I didn't mean to. I was just thinking out loud.
But see, okay. So joke characters might be able to work, but you got to put the work in.
Yeah.
Like like you can have a character that's funny and like haha and silly and whatnot, but you gotta know, all right, you're gonna be playing this character for a long time, so you gotta have
you have to be committed.
Yeah, there's some sort of commitment with this, and unfortunately, it might be like the concept might not work with the campaign, and now you're just kind of stuck with this character.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, it's definitely one of those moments I'm like, oh, that's a really funny idea. You think you can commit to it. You think you can play along through the whole and work with the DM to walk through the whole campaign, your little story arc of the hottest pepper. But more than likely, because this happens a lot, as a player, you're gonna get bored.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll. I mean, I don't know how other players are, but sometimes as a player, you might get bored with the character that is made for your campaign. Yeah. That is just an unfortunate thing. So if you have a character that goes against your campaign and is not like, I mean, this is all based off of personal things. Like, I'm not saying my experience as a player is a universal experience, but far from
Ludovico.
Yeah, well, no, Ludovico did not last because there was mechanical things. Unfortunately,
you could have played that character all the way through.
I could have, but most of his moveset would have been useless anyways.
Not really. There was a whole thing about finding the craziest poison in that in the scab, remember?
That's true, but unfortunately, demons and devils are immune to poison, so it'd be like
not all of them.
They're all pretty immune to poison. So, but I mean, it's just, and honestly, I'm like, I want to do over on that. I probably should have just like switched subclasses instead of just characters all together. But anyways, that's fine.
Well, your Goliath was pretty cool though.
Yeah, I know, but
you just wanted to hit things. Don't lie.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could outdo the fighter, and that was my first mistake. But
flashback, man, I should have been a fighter.
That was my motto that entire campaign. Should have been a fucking fighter. And it stings extra hard because my first character was a fighter, and I'm like, I'm gonna play this character at the last minute. Nope, I'm gonna play a rogue. Anyways,
what did we learn, Andrew?
Just stick with the character that you made. just make one character and throw the other rough traps away. All 19 of my other characters just right to the bin. But I mean, it's you might. Sorry, going back to the original discussion, we got off the rails real quick there.
Oh yeah, real fast too.
But I mean, like you might get bored with a character that's meant for the campaign, so it's going to be extra worse if you get bored with a joke character, especially if it's a joke character that like other people like, but you got tired of the joke. And it's just like okay, now...
say the thing. Where's the world's hottest pepper?
He did it. He said that. Yeah, exactly. And great. Now you just become the clown from that one opera. Well, I forget.
Dude, and listen, I'm not gonna lie. I was starting to feel that way a little bit with Octavio towards the beginning. Because like he's not a joke character, but I made him borderline a joke character.
Well, see, that's the thing. Octavio is a not serious character, and
right.
There's a difference between not serious and joke characters.
But even with a character like that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Walking rashes, I get it.
Okay, huh?
I get it.
You're gonna eat me. Okay, let's move on.
So I can only imagine if you expect that for the whole campaign for your stupid pepper joke,
Yeah, where it's just, it's a hot pepper. Okay, I got it.
He did the thing.
Say it. I guarantee. But yeah, no. Okay, so there is a distinguished difference between a not serious character and a joke character, and that one is where a not serious character is someone that's like, okay, I'm probably not going to be the main character of this campaign, but I'm still in it. Like, I still have, like, stakes, but they're low. Like, for instance, you could just have, like, in our current campaign, you could just have a bard that he's not really there to save the world. He's just traveling the world, collecting stories, blah blah blah, and he just happens to get roped in on this. Like his personal stakes. You good? You just look like you had like a revelation or something, and it wasn't, and it wasn't a good one. No, I know. I saw like the head bang forward, but then you're just like,
I saw God.
Yeah, like you saw like a flood that's gonna happen in 40 days or something. Anyway, but they have like really no personal stakes, but they're still in there, and like maybe their character can develop if the player so chooses, and there might be some things like maybe they'll get attached to a certain NPC or a town or whatever, and then all of a sudden it becomes a thing for them, or they might just be there for just there to have a good time. We currently have a character like that. It's our druid. He's just happy to be there. At
the end of the world.
I mean, granted, he lives in Icewind Dale, so it's like, all right, I guess I should save the world. But it's not like he's not like, no, every time something bad happens. He's just like, hey guys, I'm just happy to be here. Just point me in the direction and I'll fucking shillelagh him. But I mean, but then again, he's also like not like a dancing clown for you guys either. He's there, like he has stakes, but he's not like, there's not like a laugh track every time he says something. So,
right.
To me, that's the difference between a not serious and a...
You just gave me an idea though.
Okay.
From a scale from 1 through 5, our current campaign characters, you're gonna have to rate them from not serious to serious.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First one. Gar, because you just did that one, so I might as well do it.
Gar, I would...
Gar's our druid.
Gar, I would say, is a 1, probably teetering on a 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 being not serious character.
Yeah.
5 being a very serious
5
character.
being like every session, like something is affecting them.
Right. All right. Next one from Waterdeep himself, Mr. Octavio.
I would say Octavio is probably like a solid 4. Like
4? Really?
Yeah, because it's just because like the first. Well, okay. Hold on. He started out as like a 2. And then he gradually graduated to a 4. Where
I can agree with that slightly. I wouldn't give myself a 4. I will maybe a 3 because I don't think he's grasped the fact that there's an ever like something big is happening. He just wants to get back home at this point.
But see, the thing is that like, yeah, he might not have grasped the fact that Icewind Dale has been plunged into an eternal winter, and given time, it will wipe out the civilization there as we know it. But personally, he's gone through some pretty rough shit. So
I guess.
So I mean, like on a macro scale, no, he's small fries. On a micro scale, like inter-party, shit's happening.
Yeah,
so.
No, I can see that. All right, how about the I was going to say Lord of Shadows, but not really, because he's not the Gloomstalker kind of overtakes him, but the one that finds you what you need, the one that sneaks around, the one that can talk to people, Mr. Mittens.
I would say Mittens is probably a solid 3. Like he's there. He has stakes. He has purposes. His agenda is kind of mostly unknown to you guys right now. And there is some like offbeat characterization that's happening when you guys aren't looking. like
I think I like to think that he was a 2 until he was like, yeah, I died before. Then he was like,
there
went up to a 3.
Yeah, he started out as a 2, but then like his characterization is building right now, and I'm just waiting for the moment where he's like, I'm just gonna go take care of some business, and just like stabs a homeless person just so he can get that high.
So I can feel something again. Oh wow, that got really dark.
But I mean, but see, here's the thing, we're kind of playing it off as a joke, but in game it's scary, like how he's just like I could kill these people right now, and I could totally get away with it. So
yeah, no shit.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it's really just more like how we're handling it right now. We're just like okay, Mittens, you need to like take a step back, man.
All right, for the next one, our next contestant, the ladies of ladies, the strongest one of the group, the one that can snap Octavio's back in half, Beery, the Bear Breaker.
Beery, I would probably put her somewhere, if it depends on the session by session. I would say she's either a 3 or a 4, because like she has stakes, she has high stakes in what's going on in Icewind Dale, and she has like a personal mission from her god that chose her. She didn't choose him, he chose her. And there is a lot of lore stuff that's going on that involves her background and stuff. So Heather started it off as a joke character, but it's slowly becoming more grounded, especially with the fact that Barry is kind of like the like weirdly like den mother, but also likes to fight, like just let him fight it out, and then we'll talk it over later. Like this weird like hostile den mother, if I really had to put it down as anything.
She doesn't have to wait for her chickens to be threatened. She just goes for it.
But also, like, if there's fighting in the group, she's just like, you guys settle this and then we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah. So
it's weird because it's like there's this weird like toxic masculinity but also matronly thing going on. So yeah,
it's a very complex character for sure.
So I would definitely put her like the last couple sessions she's been a 4. The like before that, sometimes a 3, sometimes a 4. But she's definitely stepping up as to, you know, where her stakes are in this.
Yes. All right. Now for the next one, Mr. Antisocial, Mr. Introvert, but likes to be outside. Kind of weird, but I get it. The one and only that kept us alive through this whole trek, I guess you could say, Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. They. Wait, what's the proper term for that then? Whatever. The amazing one, Swift himself. Themselves. Jesus Christ.
Hold on. I'm looking up gender neutral titles. No, Swift is a solid 5. Because
I will have to agree with that.
Because
I think it's the accent that does it.
it's not only that, but it's just that it's like,
no, I know. But
it's like, okay, so Robert the player is keeping better notes than I am. Because like, what's it? You guys got arrested in the town of Targos, and you eventually found out it was all like an elaborate sort of hazing ritual for the
Oh, hazing, is that what you call it?
Well, I mean, it's the Zentarum we're talking about.
That's true. Yeah.
So
right.
They had to separate the wheat from the chaff. It's not like, hey, can you want to sign up for the Zentarum? Think about the benefits. No, this isn't the army. That's the Lord's Alliance. They're the ones that set up outside of high schools and try to get
in movie theaters when there's a war movie playing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, you want to experience that shit? Do you like playing Call of Duty but in real life? No, none of that crap. But no, like, okay, so there was like an elaborate hazing ritual that the Zentarum did, essentially. And all, like, first of all, Swift just immediately just like, okay, what's gold? Fuck it. Just here, take all the gold. I will bribe my way through this town. while Mittens is taking psychic damage from the amount of gold that Swift is spending. But also on top of that, Swift was mad at the group for whatever happened in the jails. Like they weren't there for it. They just, all they understood was that things went south in the jails and whatnot. And so they're like, we have to find our way back into Targos in good graces because that's my livelihood. Like my character goes around and helps people, and I'm like, I forgot about that. I, as a DM, completely forgot that before Icewind Dale, they had a job, like an actual proper job, going around being a ranger, just helping people of Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I don't think anybody thinks about that stuff, and you brought it up, and I'm like, oh, you're right.
Like, oh, they need wolf pelts. I will go out and hunt you some wolves or something like that. And I'm like. Meanwhile, other people are just focusing on the fact that, hey, some Zentarum beat us up, and now we got to get revenge. And Swift is like, no. We have to walk this very fine because after this is solved, I need to have a job afterwards.
I need to be able to make a living.
But I mean, that's just a very small example of just Swift's character. Swift is, I mean, we've all kind of accepted the fact that for every campaign there's one main character, like in Curse of Strahd it was obviously Vesemir, and Avernus it was Varric, and so we're kind of getting to the point now where it's like Rhyme is roughly like Swift is the main character. Granted, there's still going to be stuff for other people, but Swift was made for this campaign. And like not just mechanically, but also like their background, their backstory, and like their like web of not intrigue, but also just like influence and stuff. Yeah. And so I just want to clarify that, like when we say like main character, we don't mean that like, oh, this is their story only. It's just the fact that there always seems to be a thread, like a story thread that gets pulled the hardest in every campaign. Yeah, you know, everybody else is there. Everybody else it's up for it, which is great with our group because nobody bitches about it. Yeah, but like for the most part, there is always like a thread that gets pulled. The hardest. And I mean, and it's not like we're like showering love on this one character and neglecting the others. Far from it. Right. But there always just seems to be one character that just kind of lines up everything. You know, and it's just like, okay, well, this is kind of mostly your story, and the rest of the group is far from background characters, but it's like, you know, like take Vesemir versus Howard's character, Righton. Like Righton's character was a more serious character, but it's not like he had a personal like vendetta against Strahd or anything like that. He just happened to be there, and he was the muscle, and he was very good at killing old people.
Yeah, he was.
But I mean, that's not to say that Howard didn't play the character as best as he could. I mean, Howard's a good player. We don't have any bad players at our table. So I mean, it's you know, he had his kind of like mini arc. The other characters kind of had some resolution and payoff, but I mean, Vesemir was a focal point of that story because he was a monster hunter. He was dealing with this this power struggle in himself, you know. So now we have Swift, who obviously there is a lot of backstory to, because we're finding out they might or might not have been raised by this so-called legendary Goliath warrior. And
I can't wait for the next session.
and so there's just like, okay, Swift's and this is, by the way, this is not something that's like, oh, I came up with this idea, I'm gonna heap all this stuff on Robert. Robert's the one that came to me like, hey, can we do something like this? And be like, yeah, absolutely. So really, it's just like, you know, I'm just the receiver of information. I just distribute it as thus.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny how that works, because like there's always, for Strahd it was a little unfair because I've kind of played it already, and it's a vampire hunter, Van Helsing. Like it's very like, you know what I mean, like duh. But for Avernus, for example, the whole thing with Varric and the sword, like it was like I didn't plan any of that.
No.
And we talked about it in previous episodes too. Like that was just the way the story developed, the way Varric played his character, the way things just happened to be, or Varric played his character, Alex played his character. It all led up to that, and it wasn't. I planned this from day one. First of all, don't give me that much credit because I can't plan anything down for it.
And also, it's kind of bad DMing to plant a seed session 1 and then expect any sort of payoff from it. Like
right, yeah.
Like as a DM, the rule of thumb is go in with not I'm not saying low expectations, but don't like think of scenarios like set
like this has to happen for this character because I said so. It'll be so cool.
Yeah.
Like that just leads to disappointment and railroading.
But the irony is that I made a character that you said was like, did you read the book because it's like perfect for this campaign, and they ended up not being a big part of it. And, like the stars just aligned, and Varric just happened to be the guy that, hey, everything is working out, and it just kind of, I mean, it's I want to say it's weirdly beautiful in a way.
No, it is. I can agree with that.
How this character just kind of organically became like the focal point. Just like it wasn't like me where it's like, oh yeah, they came from this town and they're part of this holy alliance and blah 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 and crap like that. No, just Varric just happened to be the right guy, the right place, and his actions spoke louder than his backstory did and stuff like that. His character, like you saw the character grow throughout that campaign. So and it was great. I think it's funny how there were some of us that made characters specifically for that campaign, and the payoff was nowhere near as good as Alex's character. Which I mean, I'm not saying I can like read his mind or something, but I mean, Orc Samurai, cool concept. Let's run with it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. But no, I think I'll have to agree with that. I mean, I think for the most part, I don't feel like in our campaigns we play joke characters. We play characters that have quirks to them. I think there's a difference too that people confuse. That just because your character has quirk, you don't have to make the quirk its main, facade or whatever you want to call it. Like
that, we so far I think we struck a pretty good balance of having characters that have levity, but they're not just like walking and falling, there's a laugh track, and then they fart or some crap like that.
Oh, they stare at the camera.
That's Octavio. I mean, like you'll have Beery who has a moment where she's like, yes, I'm gonna I'm on this holy crusade to bring fire back to Icewind Dale, whatever the fuck that means. And then she's like, sweet, a bear, and then immediately gets mauled by it. So I mean, so you have characters like her that do have gravity in the situation, but there's also like moments where it's like, all right.
Yeah, no, for sure. So let me ask you this question then. In all of the games that we played and all the moments that we've had as a group, do you have any memories of like, I don't want to say joke character, like a character moment that was, like you said earlier, that had a lot of levity to it, that you remember fondly?
That I remember fondly? No.
Yeah, or not fond, whatever. You just remember it in general.
Well, okay, so
either you DM or play, like it's, or
I like the idea that one, Octavio still can't pack a bag. 2, Vesemir has to dance in front of a door regardless. 3, like I said before, Wrighton became like a geriatric Terminator.
Yeah.
and I had another one. Shit. Oh God, I lost my train of thought with that last one. But no,
I think you were thinking of I forgot his name, Alex's character in Curse of Strahd.
Yeah.
How he's got like that's one of my favorites too. It's like how he just got obsessed with cooking.
But I also like the fact that his character art that he picked was terrifying enough. So when there was like wanted posters that were over exaggerated, like portraits of your characters, they didn't change anything for Drax. Or small Drax. He looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, I mean, they're like, characters can have a running gag. That's fine. You know, like my character in frickin' Dragon Heist, yeah, for whatever reason can't walk 5 feet without walking onto a rune. Explosive.
I forgot about that.
But I mean, there were even whole situations that had levity to it, where we're just, especially in Waterdeep, where we're just like, that fight that went south real bad with the demons and stuff. We're just like, yeah, you know, we're not heroes. We don't have to do it.
This is not our fight.
And we all laughed it off and ha ha ha. No, actually, I remember the running gag was my character always got thrown around by explosions. Because first it was the thunderclap, and then it was the fireball, and then it was like the 18 explosive runes.
The dice were not in your favor, my friend.
And it's like it just kind of seemed like I said, the stars just seem to align, where it's like the more serious you try to make your character, the more stupid shit's gonna happen.
Yep, like, at least for a group.
Like Ludovico, I came up with this like kind of elaborate backstory that was going to feed into like, oh, maybe there's like corruption going on in the Church of Helm. Boom, dead within the first session. I mean, and I don't mean like down to 0 and they're struggling. I mean 3 failed death saves, dead.
Dead.
And I'm just like,
dead, D-E-D, dead.
Well, that's D&D for you.
I think actually, funny enough, like I was listening to one of our previous podcasts, and I was driving and I started laughing because I remember it was the beginning. I think it was the first session of Icewind Dale, where they're telling us the quest. We're all sitting around a table in a tavern, and the lady's telling us the quest of, you know, what we have to do, and there's like murders or whatever. And Octavio's at the end of the table just drinking his tea, and he's just like, oh great, who are we gonna hire to do that?
And everybody just
looks
at him. Congratulations, kid, you're it. but see, that's the thing. Octavio could have very much been a joke character. Like, he very much could have just been a like childish, like trust fund kid and stuff like that. Right. But then things happen and you rolled with the punches, no pun intended. You rolled with the punches and your character grew from that. So I mean, there was characterization there. Whereas going back to the original topic, because we were 20 minutes off on that one, but
oh shit,
yeah, going back to the original topic, I think a joke character is one that has no character growth. I think they're literally just a gimmick. Like, you know, they're just punchline, haha, you know, like
they're a flat note throughout.
Yeah, they're a bad sitcom character with stats. You know, it's like Sheldon Cooper. And exactly. In a D&D campaign, which that kind of made me throw up in my mouth a little bit thinking about that. Just having a wizard go bazinga, and then like fire.
Write that down real quick. Bazinga. Every spell is the verbal component, and every spell is just bazinga.
Oh my god! Please kill.
Pass without a trace. Bazinga.
Please kill me. I would not want that. I would kick you out of the table if I.
But Andrew, why you do this to me?
Because I hate Big Bang Theory. You know this.
Oh man. So we spoke about joke characters and not so joke characters.
Yeah.
What is the big stark difference? We kind of hit on all the main points, but what if you had to narrow it down to like 3 main things that separates a campaign long serious character to a half a 1 session joke character?
Half a 1 session. Okay, so the 3 main things. Okay, so if I really had to narrow it down to 3, or just come up with 3 at this point, the three main things that separates a serious character, even like a not so serious character, from a joke character is one, stakes. A serious character, depending on whatever gradient of serious you're thinking of, will have stakes in the story no matter how low or high. Two, room for growth. And three, probably some sort of like, I'm thinking of like social relationship with the rest of the party. Because like, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you think of a joke character because you personally think it's funny. And it's like, and it's like, if the joke is funny to the rest of the group, okay, that's great. But like 30 minutes later, okay, dude, can we, you know, kind of move on with it? Meanwhile, Beppo the barbarian clown is throwing pies because they had improvised weaponry or some crap like that, you know. And but like even like not serious characters like Octavio at the beginning of Icewind Dale, or even like Vesemir later on in the story, he started out as the serious character, and
I feel attacked right now.
It kind of fluttered into like the not serious territory, but I mean, they still had like relationships with their party. Like they had, you know, they had social standings. They were friends. They're like, if their friends got hurt, they worried about that. If something happened to their friends, they worried about that. We spent all last session arguing. Arguing because Octavio was being, I mean, obviously and righteously upset because of the loss of his eye, you know, despite the fact that this is the character that walking rations for 15 sessions and still can't pack a bag. But
no, he learned to pack a bag finally. You said it yourself.
Yeah.
after 26 sessions.
But I mean, we did have like that kind of like Scrubs moment where it's like, okay, like we are joking, but then serious stuff happens, like the music stops, and like no, we are having this like kind of tearful argument out in the middle of a tundra because Octavio is dealing with something right now that is not funny. Like it is decidedly not funny, and he doesn't want to joke about it. And how the situation might be handled in the future or right now might be a bit of a joke because he's kind of going through like a denial thing, but it's obviously upsetting him in some way, shape, or form. So I mean, you wouldn't have that depth of character in a joke character, and that's not to say joke characters are bad per se, but it's like, if you're gonna make a joke character, like start out as a joke character, but then add something. Like if you're like if it's going to be like, oh, I'm a paladin because I'm a cop, haha, it's like, okay, you know, you spend the first session kicking down doors and be like, what did he please freeze, while you're like while you use your holy smite to tase bad guys. I mean, that's funny for like the first session or so, but then it's like, okay, why did you become a cop? Why did you get kicked off the force? You know, like what's going on? Like you gotta have something there. Like a joke character is just that. It's a joke, and you can only tell a joke so many times before it starts getting not funny. You know, and depending on your character, it might get not funny real quick. So but you can also have that moment where your joke character becomes a serious character, and then you have like that moment in animes where like the comic relief character like all of a sudden focuses and they become like a badass. And, you know, and that's fine. You can totally have that, and then be like, oh, haha, later afterwards, after you're done, like, you know, beating this werewolf to death with your bare fists. Like, you know, like that can be a thing. Which, by the way, if you can be a werewolf to death with your bare fists, you're like a level 7 monk or something like that. Because, anyways, but I mean, you can have those out of character, mean serious business moments and still be funny. Like I'm not saying serious characters can't be funny. Even Swift, who is like. Robert himself is a funny guy, but Swift is not funny. Swift has no sense of humor. Even they get like humorous parts.
Yeah,
the book still tickles me to this day.
That was so good
because they're the straight man, and I'm not trying to be like. I know. like they're the straight man to everything that's happening in this like baffling like group, like even to the point where the captain of the Centauran people is like, I fucking lost to these guys. It's just like, I know, try not to think about it. So I mean, but that's I mean, at this point, we're just kind of talking about the dynamics of comedy. Like how comedy
exactly.
works. If everyone is like slapping each other and acting like the Three Stooges, that gets old and childish real quick. You got to have something to bounce off of. And right now, Swift is that wall that everyone is bouncing off of because, except for Gar. Gar's just kind of happy to be there. but I mean, like Mittens is occasionally doing like silly stuff. Octavio and Barry are definitely doing silly stuff, but silly stuff is happening to Swift, and Swift does not like it. And that's the comedy.
Every minute he's just like, I hate this so much.
It's just like, god damn it. like I was totally expecting Swift just to abandon the party while they were in jail, and there was a moment where they were like, I could just leave right now and all my problems would be solved.
Go back to my normal life. Nobody will miss me.
I can just completely disappear, and now they totally can just disappear.
Yep.
So
I think the other side of that token too is also
when you have a character that's too serious.
Yeah, well, you have that character that the player comes to session 1 with a 30-page essay on their background.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, and to be perfectly honest, that was me. That I actually had for the character that I made in Waterdeep, I had like a 3-page backstory. That was all like, like how their parents met because his dad was supposed to be a character from a previous campaign, and justifying why he knows like barehanded combat as opposed to like weapon combat, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no one gives a shit about this. and I'm glad I cut it down because we were only going to be level 5 anyways, and and that happened in like what, 8 sessions, 10 sessions, or something like that.
I think it was like 11. It was like
it was a very short campaign. So you have the other side of the coin where if you make a very serious character for a short adventure, prepare to be disappointed because you're probably not going to have that much of a payoff. Like, if you show up to a one shot with a character that with a backstory that rivals War and Peace, well, that's your own fault, buddy. Like at that point, just write a novel because you are not going to get the resolution. You're not going to find the lich that destroyed your family house 47 years ago or some crap like that, because we're trying to figure out why these goblins are invading this brewery. Like, why? Like, your backstory also has no inclination to what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I also think that, first of all, like, if somebody spends that much time making a 30-page backstory, no matter how, it could be freaking Matt Mercer. Mm-hmm. No matter who's DMing that campaign, it's not gonna pay off.
No,
like they're not gonna be able to meet your standards.
No.
So you're gonna be disappointed. The DM is gonna be stressed the fuck out trying to like make that happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's why I do. That's the other side. Like they're just very like, oh, this is a what should we call it? This is a not a theatrical, a thespian, role playing moment here, whatever. But like, I feel like the way we've been doing it, which is like, here's the basic of my backstory. Mm-hmm. Here's where I will like my character to essentially be at some point. And then the DM just finds, because truly only the DM knows what's going to happen in that campaign.
I mean, even then, not really. It's pulling back the curtain a lot. The DM has the bare bones structure of the adventure. It's the characters, the player characters are the ones that add the flesh and blood to it.
Yeah.
And how that goes along, we won't ever know, especially for the campaign that we're doing right now, which is a sandbox, which means you guys can just fuck off and just do whatever you want. And it'd be like, oh wait, I had this character moment where you're supposed to go here and then you're supposed to go there. Well, then whose fault is that? That's me.
Yeah.
That's on me as a DM. But I mean, if the thing is you kind of brought up a good point, because you do stress out about that character that brings a 30-page backstory, but then there's also equal amount of stress for a character that has no backstory.
Yeah.
Because then it's like I need payoff for this person, but then I also need a hook for this person. Like I have to like there is a balance. And like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job of reaching that balance where it's like we're gonna go back to using Barry because I think that's honestly right now, I think that's a pretty good example of just using bits and bobs of your character to conjure up a backstory where she's just like, I was a Goliath that grew up in Icewind Dale. I had a bit of wanderlust and I went to Waterdeep and I ventured out to the Sword Coast and then I came back when I heard there was stuff going down in Icewind Dale. And it's like, okay, she's a Goliath. So there's a lot of lore stuff there with Goliath. She's a paladin. Okay, we can work off of that because there's obviously going to be gods and stuff. And she went through the Sword Coast and then came back. Okay, perfect. I can using that. I as the DM can look up stuff and conjure up something for her as a character. Whereas if it's just like, I am a bard, that's it. And it's like, but why are you here? Oh, because you want me to make a character level 1. No, I mean, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, why is your character here? Like, what stakes do they have? Oh, I don't know. I'm a College of Lore bard. Okay, but what did you do? You know? There's also
work with me, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. There's that equal amount of stress trying to engage that player that like doesn't have any hooks or backstory. Yeah. But then you also like you're trying to balance that with this guy that wrote this novella of a backstory, and you're like, okay, how am I going to get Countess on into the realm of shadows, despite the fact that they were off the coast of Baldur's Gate? And it's just like, and it's like, yeah, how do I?
Yeah, I think so. I think what we're trying to get at here is that there is most definitely a balance to everything. There's no need, unless like your whole table really wants to play joke characters. You're making, I don't know, the A team for like a one-off, like a 1-2 session,
or like you said, the Power Rangers, like the actual
the Power Rangers or whatever, and everybody's on the same page and it's just for shits and giggle, everybody's drinking or whatever. Fine, but everybody has to be on the same page.
Right.
But if you want to play a funny character that is not necessarily like the sword and shield rescue the princess type, there's ways to do that is organic.
Yeah, I mean there is a reason why you'll have characters like Boromir alongside characters like Merry and Pippin. Like you gotta have that dynamic. Like we can have the tragic, getting pelted by orc arrows, but then at the same time, oh, what about second breakfast? Ha ha ha. So I mean they're
and Merry and Pippin's fucking
but they had stakes too. Like stuff happened to them. Tragic shit happened to them, and they started out as their whole introductions. Let's get the fuck out of here. We stole some radishes. This is from the movie, of course. The book is way different, but still, like their whole introduction was joke charactery, but then shit happened to them, and they kind of became heroes, more or less. But I mean,
for the most part.
But then you have characters like Aragorn, who's like, I made this character for this campaign, and he ends up being the main character. And it turns out I'm the king of a long lost blah blah. I'm Isildur's heir, and yada yada. And the DM's like, okay, fine, whatever.
That's Tolkien talking.
Here's this +3 longsword. Now get out of my face. but I mean, just using that as an example, like those are the two sides of like a serious character versus a not serious character. Whereas like a joke character is like Tom Bombadil. Like, okay, dude, what's your gimmick? Haha, no, who are you? I'm Tom Bombadil. Okay, but why are you here? Oh, I don't know, because I'm Tom Bombadil. Okay, dude, no, seriously. And even to the point where Tolkien's like, I don't know what I was doing when I wrote Tom Bombadil.
Somebody gave me some of those nice cigarettes.
I had too many jazz cigarettes.
Jazz cigarettes.
but I,
yeah.
But just goes to show when Peter Jackson adapted Lord of the Rings for the film, he cut out Tom Bombadil and nothing was lost. Overall, nothing was lost from the story. because Tom Bombadil is essentially a joke character. I mean, yeah, he might have been God reincarnated as this weird hermit out in the middle of the woods. Sure, whatever. But he's a joke character. I mean, let's just,
We did it, Andrew. We talked about
the pug,
joke actors versus real characters.
Like the pug from Dune. It was such a joke character, they cut him out from the book altogether.
Yeah, I know. Not even worth the ink that is printed on.
And the pug was there too.
The pug was there too. Oh man.
We didn't really discuss this the way I expected us to, but we
went off the rails for an hour and an hour.
But I mean, we were really
I think we touched all the things we wanted to talk about.
It was really more about how to make a character as opposed to making a joke character, which at the end of the day, it's like, if you're going to make a character, like, yes, levity is all more than welcome. I am not going to deal with edgelord like my family has been murdered. Yeah, I mean, like if that's gonna happen, expect to have jokes be made at you, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. Yeah. But don't get mad when that happens. But also, okay, so expect levity, but don't add too much gravity to your character when you're making them. There's a perfect balance. You need to have holes in your story so the DM can fill them with stuff that's going to happen in the campaign.
Right. Right.
Well, I think that.
Oh man! All right. Well, so yes. To recap, levity on a character is really great. Mm-hmm. You don't have to make your whole character a joke. Only half a joke.
There is,
and eventually give it room to grow into a proper, story.
Yeah, there is a world of difference between a joke character and a not serious character.
Right. So. Right, for sure. And even serious characters like we discussed with Swifts, they have levity and comedy around them as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that might not be their shtick, but it happens.
Right. But it happens, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be completely different if Robert got upset that funny stuff happened to their character, but the fact that they're okay with it means, it's okay. Like if the book thing happened to Swift and Robert's like, okay, can we stop this, please? This isn't funny anymore. Like, come on, dude. Right. The DM's a player too. I like to have fun.
All right, let's move on to our favorite session. Wait, what? No, our favorite section of our episodes. Session highlights. Andrew,
weird,
such a highlight.
I got weirdly sensual there. I don't know how I feel about that.
You're like
session highlights. Do you have
dim delights?
Yeah. Do you have any session highlights? Here. While you say that, I'm gonna light some small candles.
Session highlights. We I'm trying to remember which sessions we played before from last episode to this one. I think it's only one, right?
Man, that week gap feels like a year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The last session we played, just give a bit of a retread. The last session we played, Beery kind of argued with the captain, and they were going to duel out in the middle of the snow when the rest of the party is like, or even Beery came to the conclusion, it's like, no, you know what, you're better off alive right now. You're no good to me dead. Let's go up this mountain. And for some reason, you guys abandon your axe beaks when it's like,
hey, I was a part of that conversation.
That's true. So you guys abandoned your axe beaks and you went to go toward you were just traveling to the mountain, And then you all saw The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, flying through the air. You smell what The Rock is cooking.
I think my session highlight for all that session was how intensely Mittens was staring daggers into the captain or prisoner. The whole session.
Kind of literally. Just like just like holding a knife, and every now and then the captain would look and be like, "Oh no, Mittens is getting close."
And even like, so my session highlights, and it's kind of hard to explain if you're not following the story, actually was when the conversation between Swift and Barry about the creature Goliath thing that's on top of the mountain, and how they realized that they've been talking about the same person this whole time.
Yeah, they were both circling around a concept, and they didn't realize that circle was a Venn diagram until later on in that conversation.
Yeah, and even then, like when like Barry was like picking up Swift and swinging him around because she was so excited that the vision was real, Swift the whole time is like, please put me down. And we even describe how like the captain like steps back a little bit so he doesn't get hit by Swift's feet, and then he bumps into Mittens, and he's like, oh god. Yeah. I think that whole interaction was my session highlight. It was so cool.
Or how like they all sit down for camp and Mittens sits down. Like the captain sits down and it's Octavio and Mittens sandwiching him, and even though it's negative 40 degrees, the captain starts sweating. Oh god.
I like how every single one of our prisoners just gets more and more psychological damage as we go.
I mean, you've only had the one prisoner. It's just the fact that like he woke up to Mittens just like staring at him.
No, we had that other one. Remember?
What other one?
The Centaurum that attacked the town.
Oh,
and we strung him along. And he's like, "Stay here, don't move." And all he hears is other Centaurums being thrown off the windows. The screams of pain from his fellow workers.
And he's just sitting there. I imagine he's just sitting there curled up in a ball, holding his knees, just like, it's only my 4th month on the job.
He's also the one to try to commit suicide, and Beer slapped the shit out. Slapped the life back into him.
There's this weird running trend of Zentarum dying and then you group bringing him back. Anyways,
how about you, Andrew? Any session highlights?
I would honestly have to say my session highlight, and again, this is all it was a very story driven episode last time, but I would have to say my session highlight was like you leaving the group to go to bed early. And people like and people like, what's going on with him? and like, oh yeah, the eye thing. I totally forgot about that. And everyone just like was just like talking about it. And then the captain tries to speak up, and everyone tells him to shut up. He's okay. And then like the next morning, like Barry has like an actual like fucking sit down conversation with you about it, trying to be like, okay, look, we know you're going through some shit, but you're gonna have to level with us, man. Like you can't just be like edgy teen. you have to communicate with us. We're all part of a group, you know. And like
I like how that felt very much like parental figures. Like trying to like figure out how to raise their teenage son.
Yeah, exactly. And just like how and Swift's like, okay, hold on. Things are gonna happen and stuff like that, and then everyone else is like, yeah, I know, but what happened to him is not normal, and he's trying and he's chewing through it as best as he can, and they're just like, okay, how do we reach this kid?
I love that like Beery was like, or Heather was like, I really hope that he's listening to all of this through the tent. And then I'm like, are you guys gonna check on the tent? Nope, pass the fuck. Because for as much pain and as angry as he is, nobody messes with Octavio's sleep.
and also because it's a fantasy character, his character can go straight to bed and go to sleep immediately without the need of like sleep aids or anything like that.
I also love the fact that apparently Octavio and Swift are sharing a tent, even though everybody has their own tent.
I think the group only bought like 3 tents because it was a 2-person tent. But like,
no, I think it comes with every explorer's kit.
Does it?
From the get-go?
I thought
yeah.
I thought an explorer kit only comes with a bedroll.
Oh, well, I had a tent. I don't know if anybody had a tent.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then, of course, Octavio fucking shines. Fucking disco ball episode.
Only when you ask, because apparently if I do it, I'm like, oh, I'm putting the party at risk. It's okay when you do it, but when me as the DM tries to remember something like that.
It's only for levity and comedy.
Okay. I'm just saying, you're putting that out in the world. So, and it's my world that we're in right now. But it was either that or just Beery and the captain being like, okay, what's the rules of this duel that we're gonna, because we're just gonna beat the shit out of each other. Like, no magic, okay, no magic, armor. All right, let's do this thing. And then the group comes in and they're both like, ah, shit. All right, fine.
Yeah, they're pretty much like, I can't believe this. Like really quickly, like, no, we weren't thinking of fighting each other. What?
No. Also, and this one's for Heather because I know it bothers her. Optics.
Oh man. All right, I think that's it. Andrew, do you have any news? Because I don't.
No, I don't have any news. I actually been completely cut out from the outside world ever since Elden Ring came out.
I've also been cut out from the real world, but that's because I'm too busy at work. But
that's lame.
I know, right? I hear Elden Ring is pretty good.
It is pretty good. It came out a week ago, and I've so far played 78 hours of it.
Jeez.
I'm not even kidding. I checked the time before we logged on to do this podcast, and I'm like 77 hours and 36 minutes.
Man, that means it's a good game. I have Elden Ring, I have Horizon Forbidden West, I have Gran Turismo 7 sitting on my little TV table.
That's gonna be your year, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like I was very early on Horizon, whenever Elden Ring came out, and I almost jumped into Elden Ring first, but then I got my ass kicked, and I was like, no, let me go back to Horizon.
Nope.
Nope. But also it was the fact that like literally the moment like the story like first kicked off, like the big first thing that happened in the story was when Elden Ring came out, and I'm like, yeah. If it would have been like literally like right before that, I would have paused and then I would have gone to Elden Ring, no issues. But because it was like the first thing, I was like, oh my god, I wonder how that happens. Anyways, so I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West right now, and it's pretty awesome.
See, that happened with me, or I prevented that happening with me because I was playing, and you know this because I told you this incessantly, but I was playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I'm like, oh, Elden Ring's coming out. All right, we got to wrap this shit up. so that way I don't have those conflicting games. I'm just like, nope, I gotta beat the story. Okay, we're good. All right, get that shit out of here. Elden Ring, you're in.
I tried. So my original plan was to beat Metal Gear, all of them, and then play Elden Ring.
Right.
And then I forget the Horizon was coming out.
Right.
And I pre-ordered it like a year ago, or whenever it was first announced.
Oh yeah. Well, if you pre-ordered it, then you're like obligated.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe I can beat it in like a week because I can seriously beat games in a week if I really dedicate myself into it. But I just couldn't. I got busy. Things happened. I just couldn't get into it. So by the time Elden Ring came out, because it was like 2 weeks before Elden Ring.
Right.
By the time Elden Ring came out, I was like, So, I do want to get my ass kicked constantly.
But you're already playing something, so that's fine.
But I'm already playing Horizon. Yeah,
that's fine. But
I'm waiting because I hear stories and it just looks.
But see,
I'm itching to play.
That's all like a matter of like personal priorities. Where it's just like for me personally, when I saw the release date for Elden Ring, I didn't give a flat fuck what was coming out around it. It's like, nope, sweep the table off Elden Ring. It's like, oh, but Gran Turismo, I don't care. Get out of here.
Yeah, because you're a huge Souls fan.
Yes.
So I get it.
Yes. I've played them all.
Yeah.
I've played them all. Even Dark Souls 2.
Wow.
Actually, Dark Souls 2 is not bad. I'm gonna do that hot take where Dark Souls 2 is ambitious.
Why do people think that Dark Souls 2 is bad? I don't get
because vanilla Dark Souls 2 is bad. Dark Souls Scholar of the First Sin is better, but it also has a very rough start. Like it probably, like, the charm of Dark Souls 2 doesn't really kick in until you're about like 15 hours in. But you just got to really chew through those like beginning parts. But I mean, it's ambitious. It does things, like it tried new things out, stuff that apparently was so good they brought it back for Elden Ring. So I mean, you know,
right.
it does things. It was also kind of made by the B team, and you can tell because I think they were making, I think the A team was making Bloodborne while the B team was making Dark Souls 2. And so because of that, there's like a mechanical difference as well. Like the game is like weirdly lofty, and it has like graphical like design differences from Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls. So like there's that too. Like it visually looks different, and it has like a different feel. But I mean, it's still a good game in of itself. It suffers from the Godfather trilogy syndrome, where it's like if you had the game by itself, it would be a 9 out of 10. But the fact that you have Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3 sandwiching it, and those games are like awesome, and of the Souls, that small difference is a chasm by comparison.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like to imagine it's kind of like Batman Origins.
Exactly.
When the Arkham series was coming out, Batman Origins came out, people were like, oh, so I thought it was a terrible game, but I played it after it came out, like years after it came out. And it was a perfectly fine game. It was just like you said. It was made by the B team. Mm-hmm. It was also like they looked slightly different. It had like a more like a cartoony vibe to it compared to the rest. So I get it. Yeah, totally get it.
I mean,
but eventually I'll play, and eventually you'll be there to tell me what to do and what not to do.
But I mean, no, don't go up. Too late.
No, there you go.
No, actually, I'm actually the complete opposite. I'll be like, oh, you should go check this out. And the person I'll be playing with is like, oh god, no! I'm like, yeah, that's why. but I mean, what's it? And it also doesn't help that like Bloodborne came out immediately after Dark Souls 2. Well, not immediately after, but shortly after Dark Souls 2. And Bloodborne's a fucking masterpiece. So I'm sorry. It's just when you take all of like the Soulsborne games, especially now with Elden Ring, Dark Souls is a weird redheaded stepchild, but it still deserves love. It's a great so
it's still a good game.
Yeah, not like Elden Ring.
I'm gonna wrap up.
Elden Ring's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna wrap up the episode. I wouldn't know because I got to like that first little
Elden Ring is everything I wanted it to be.
Is it? I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10 because it doesn't have an easy mode.
And the main protagonist doesn't talk.
Oh yeah.
Actually, that's not true. If you use emotes, he talks. So
okay.
Fuck you, guy on YouTube that said
that.
Yeah,
because they do make you pick a voice in the beginning.
Yeah, but it's mostly just like it's mostly just like pain grunts, like and stuff like that. But like if you use like the wave emote, he goes hey and stuff like that, and like but I mean he does talk. So there's that. He's just not having full blown conversations with people.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
So
yeah. Well. That's enough about video games because we're here mainly for tabletop talk.
Oh, wait, I forgot about Sekiro. Sekiro's a great game, too.
No, Andrew! Spray bottle. Well, thank you, everybody who joined us again for another episode of A Talk Opportunity. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy our ramblings. I hope you get to play a joke character for a very short campaign and not bring the suffering to your table.
And make a serious character. Make a not so serious character. Make that serious character a not so serious character, vice versa. You know, things can happen.
Yes. But with that, there's a lot of things happening in Talk Opportunity. Make sure to join us this Wednesday for a live playthrough as we're going through Rime of the Frost Maiden. Last week we didn't play because life happened.
Yeah.
We also have Tuesdays and Thursdays where we play Epic Library of Epic Games. Right now I am playing... Last Tuesday I played Ace Combat. It was pretty fun. You know, I played the last mission after not playing it for like a year, and I still got it.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say that's a bad jumping off point if you haven't played it in a while.
It was, but
oh no, I regretted it.
But it was still great. Anyways, so Tuesday and Thursdays. Tuesday is me playing video games, and then Thursday is Alex, and then Wednesdays, like I just said, we have Dungeons and Dragons play through, and then that's it. Every other Sunday we do this.
Yeah.
Our live podcast recording, and then we release the podcast on Wednesdays on Apple and iTunes and all the podcast platforms that you use. So make sure to follow us, like us, leave us a review, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook. We appreciate every comment and every like that we get, which is like none.
Tell us that we're terrible. Call us hack frauds. We get something.
Yeah, well that one got yelled at us because we put the Dune podcast on like Dune, like a video game from 1996. He was so angry. Anyways, but yes, thank you guys so much. And as always,
like, you guys should read the book. We are reading the book, asshole. That's what we're talking about.
In front of us.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh man. But thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful.
That one dude just patrolling the Dune like Twitch channels, like just sniffing out posers.
Oh. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, keep on gaming. Bye.
Bye.